All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of esports here at LCBI. We would see Jesus. Today, the LCBI Bisons are going to be playing the Centaurus High School in Lafayette, Colorado. Not sure what the rankings are for Lafayette, but the Bisons have been practicing all week, so I'm going to go through today's lineup really quickly. So, for the damage players, we have two damage players per game. Damage heroes seek out, engage, and obliterate the enemy with a wide-ranging tools, abilities, and playstyles. Fearsome but fragile, these heroes require backup to survive. For the damage slots, we have first up Kobe Spear, gamertag Dream in Bacon. Kobe is a grade 12 student. We saw Kobe last week. He liked to play Cassidy. Cassidy was one of his main damage players that he plays. Looks like a cowboy, fires off a six shooter. Kobe, good player. I said one of our senior players. He's been involved with LCBI's esports program since it started. Kobe, not too bad working with the group, but really, I mean, sitting in the esports lab here at LCBI in Outlook, Saskatchewan, Kobe's one of the main communicators, kind of helping guide the team with the strategy or who to target and the enemy. No, excuse me, about who to target. So with Kobe in the damage role, we have Christopher Summick. Chris is a grade 10 student. His gamer tag is C Play Games. So he's another damage player. So their job is essentially to hide behind the tank and just try and give as much damage as possible. What we're going to see in today's lineup or today's matches is really the Bisons, as well as I imagine Centaurus High School, is going to be focusing in on one player, right? So you want to focus a player, get them knocked out. Next thing you know, it's 4-on-5. So after Christopher Summick and Kobe Spear as the damage rolls, let's talk about support. So support heroes empower their allies by healing, shielding, boosting damage, and disabling foes. As a support, you're the backbone of your team's survival. We have two support players. So the first support player is Josh Denholm, aka his gamertag is Banana Josh. So Josh is going to be a support player, healing, trying to I don't want to say penalize, but like I said, like debuff an enemy, whether that be health, whether that be the damage they do. And then with Josh, aka Banana Josh, we have Jeremy Flath. So Jeremy Flath, gamertag Sky King, is going to be the other support player. If these folks get knocked out, and you'll see these both Banana Josh and Sky King get targeted from the enemy team. They like to target the support players because once you lose your support players, there goes your ability to heal. There goes your ability to increase damage or debuff damage. So those players get targeted quite quickly. Now all that is being led into charge by the tank. So the tank hero soaks up the damage and shatters fortified positions like closely grouped enemies and narrow choke points. If you're a tank, you lead the charge. So our tank today is going to be played by Lana Knutson, a.k.a. gamertag Golden Shadow. Now, we have two players waiting in the wings. So these are our second string or backup if you're looking at our depth chart. So these are the players. So if somebody's having a bad game or something happens and they need to stop playing, we have grade 11 Evan Chang, a.k.a. gamertag Aquamarine. And Randy Anderson, gamertag Skyfire, grade 10 student here at LCBI. So what we're going to see today is that a regular lineup where we're going to have one control map, a flashpoint, it goes control, hybrid, flashpoint, push, and then escort. We'll go into how the game modes work as they come up. But what we're going to see is you want to target the enemy supports. And sometimes you get this weird mix where you'll see the enemy will either target the tank, target the support. Maybe they have a damage player that's really good at getting some really crucial shots in. So I mean, it really depends on who we're playing. If we get if they have a very maybe a weak tank. So I mean, remember the tank. If you're wondering why the tank is always in the action, well, that's their job, right? I mean, they're supposed to hold aggro. So the enemy team targets them while the support players back up the tank. So sometimes you might have a weak tank that doesn't have the support of the supports or the damage players. So if you knock out the tank, I mean, that's the only role that is supposed to or designed to soak up the damage. So if the enemy team loses their tank, it's only a matter then you're just hunting down their damage and support. I mean, because with damage heroes are glass cannons. That's kind of like the gamer lingo you hear, glass cannon. And the reason that is because they don't have a lot of health, but they do a lot of damage. So if you can catch one of the damage players on their own, kind of out in the lurch, maybe you have a damage player, and we see this sometimes from Kobe Spear. Kobe likes to get the high ground and just kind of pick them off. But I mean, if an enemy can go and seek that out, uh, a damage player on their own without the support of a healer healing them or increasing their damage, I mean, really doesn't stand too much of a chance. So within this game, although it might seem chaotic and hectic and whatnot, you really need to focus on working together as a team, communicating. Sometimes it requires the damage players to try to get that high ground. Maybe it requires them to try and ambush them or surround the opposing team. So yeah, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. It really depends on what Centaurus High School can bring to the table. Looks like they just came into the lobby. So we're waiting here to get started our first game here. So yeah, let's we're gonna sit back. We're gonna watch. I think it's gonna be a really good game today. Right now the Bisons are 2-1. The one round we did lose. I believe they were from Colorado as well. That was 2 weeks ago. From Greenwood Village in Colorado. That they were ranked, I believe, number 7th in the league. And remember, this is through Play VS, where these high schools are from all over North America. So I mean, we're competing with teams from the states with school populations that absolutely trump LCBI's. So the fact that we are relatively highly ranked. I'm going to see if I can get the rankings for you guys throughout the broadcast. But I think this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a great game. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, okay. So sit back, relax, and I'll be back after communicating with the team. All right, I'm back. So yeah, actually, I got the rankings from the LCBI Bison's coach, Brian. So LCBI is currently ranked 55, whereas the Centaurus High School is ranked 53. So they're a bit higher ranking. Now, I was a bit off on our score of the season. So the 2 wins we got, one of those wins was actually a preseason game, so it's not actually being counted towards the ranking. So really, the Bisons right now are 1-1, as well as Centaurus High School in Lafayette, Colorado. So they're also 1-1 or 1-1. So this is actually probably one of the most equally matched rankings we're going to see. Very actually not really common in past LCBI esports teams. I mean, we've usually either been playing teams that have been very good or not very great. But here we go. Okay, so we're entering our game. So the first game we're going to be playing today is Control as usual. So Control is a game mode in which two teams fight over a capture point in a best-of-3 format. While a team has control over a capture point, that team will gain capture percentage until they reach 100%, and the team that reaches 100% first wins the round. Overtime will be triggered if one team has reached 99% and the point is currently being contested. This game mode does not have a time limit, unlike the others. All 3 rounds are played on the same parent map, with each round located in a different area of the map and featuring a new capture point. More teammates capturing the point at the same time will increase the capture speed with a limit of 3. A 4th teammate will have no effect on the capture speed. Okay, so this first game, there are 3 rounds. There are 3 rounds. Usually this is the reason why I think they start off with the control gameplay is because it is such because it does give you more than one opportunity. The capture percentages don't go as fast as they do in Flashpoint, but here we go, gates down, Bisons rushing to the point. So we're currently spectating Sky King, Jeremy Flath, grade 12 student. And looks like they're rushing in. Okay, so this is actually a really interesting control point that they're fighting over, mainly because the control point itself is actually below this platform, but it's the platform where most of the fighting takes place. So Bison's looking like they're less focused on taking the control point and more interested in taking out some of the Lafayette players. So it looks like Bison's already knocked off 2 of the Lafayette players, and it looks like Lafayette retreated to regroup. Okay, so we're currently watching Banana Josh as the bubbly girl who shoots her own players. Now, if you're confused by that, what Josh is doing is Josh is actually healing the... If you see him shoot his own teammates, he's buffing his teammates. And if he's shooting the opponents, he's damaging the opponents. Okay, so now we're going to go to C-Plate game. This is Christopher Summick. So Chris, absolutely devastating as Reaper. Now, Reaper is a character who has kind of a phasing ability. So a good tactical push by Christopher. Again, pushing Lafayette back. What Christopher's looking as a damaged player is for the opponents that are weak. If they're weak and their support isn't getting to them, and here we go. See, so there you go. There's his phasing, teleporting ability. So what Christopher's looking for is the opposing teammates who are weak, and he's trying to just quickly finish them off, so they have to go back to their respawn. Okay, so we see him bobbing in and out, trying to find an opportunity to strike. Here we are as Dream in Bacon. So Dream in Bacon, this is Kobe's Spear. Believe Kobe is playing Ash right now. So medium to long range damage player. We see Lafayette pushing onto the objective, trying to essentially sow confusion and chaos in the mix right now, but doesn't look like Lafayette's offense is going as planned. Right now, Bison's doing a good job at kind of trying to separate Lafayette's players, single them out, and execute them one by one. So very good round. And that is the first objective secured. That was a textbook play from the LCBI Bisons. They're the winners of round 1. Okay, so round 1, we're going into round 2. So it's going to be the same map, different capture point. So it just mixes it up a bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to spectate Golden Shadow, or start off with spectating Golden Shadow. Golden Shadow, again, is our tank player. So their job, soak up the damage, be the center of attention. They are supposed to be the divas of the group. Speaking of diva, that is actually the name of the character Golden Shadow is playing. So off we see them blasting. Oh, I mean, again, you want your tank at the center. You want your tank. If the tank isn't at the center, they're not doing their job. So let's go into first-person mode. So this is actually what Lana Knutson is looking at right now. This is from her perspective. Again, pushing them, causing dissension. Remember, they have a game plan. Lafayette has a game plan, and what you're trying to do is just disrupt each other's game plan. So holding at this choke point, not doing a too bad job from the Lafayette's tank, throwing up that shield, trying to limit the amount of damage. But we see Lafayette trying to surround the Bisons. All right, Bison's being nice and concentrated. And that's kind of the objective, or one of the advantages of actually getting to the objective first, is you have the power. Your team is all clumped together, and the opposing team needs to be on needs to separate, maybe to get a better angle, maybe throw a kink into your plan. But the Bison's doing a good job keeping Lafayette at bay. And there we go. Okay, so Lafayette's tank has just been taken out. And now we see that, again, it's Lafayette is doing a strategic retreat, right? There's no point in them staying in there all together at once because, you know, that's where you get singled out. You're filing in one at a time. You want to go in there together as a team. So in some cases, you'll have the attacking team when this happens. You'll have the opposing team. One or two guys will maybe stay it from afar, just keeping the pressure on, keeping the Bisons on their toes, or the defending team on their toes. But no, this is doing great. We see here that there are... Yeah, we're up at the 62%. Lafayette doesn't have... So if we win this round, we win game one, and then we go into our next game. So not looking good for Lafayette. Ooh, and there goes Banana Josh. Ooh, okay. Lafayette is doing a relatively decent job of actually breaking the Bison's defense. Oh, Bison's getting knocked out. Okay, so now looks like Lafayette has control of the objective and are starting to build up percentage points. So Bisons need to formulate an attack, and I think we might see a similar strategic play style from Lafayette that we saw with the Bisons. Again, you move the front line up. So the objective is nice far behind you, not too far behind you that you can't react. But the Bisons are trying to poke a hole in the defense of Lafayette, trying to cause dissension. So here we go. Boom! And the Lafayette tank is down. Bison's now on the offensive, or now on the defensive, slowly capturing the point. And looks like the Lafayette defense has crumbled. We had their Golden Shadow hunting down their damaged players. And looks like, yeah, Bisons actually are getting another victory here. A sound victory. And that's something we see all the time. We see teams like that. Sorry, just waiting for this. Boom! And Bisons win round two, and subsequently the first game. Very good. Let's take a look and see what the play of the game was. This will be interesting to see. All right, play of the game from Golden Shadow, Lana Knutson. Here we go. Okay, so we see here Lana hunting down one of their damaged players. No, hunted down another damaged player. All right, so there we go. 3 takedowns from Lana Knutson. Play the game. First, excellent first round. But okay, so what I was saying before, we see this with teams. As the season goes on, some teams get better, some teams stagnate. And what we've seen is, again, the Bisons have been getting better. They've had some pretty good wins. They've learned some stuff in those cases, but they've also had, you know, that one loss against the other Colorado team. I mean, there was a lot to be learned there of communication, understanding what went good, what went bad, what they need to work on. And yeah, so this is a great progression into the fall season. Okay, so yeah, great first round. I believe we're sticking with the same lineup as before. So that means we're going into game 2. So the first game, Control, goes to the Bisons. Awesome job. Our next game mode we're going to isn't a hybrid. So hybrid is actually one of my favorite play style. I do like the push or the escort missions, and hybrid does a good job because the hybrid game mode is which starts with an assault capture point. So very similar to Control. So you're going to see the gate drop down. One team is going to assault the capture point. They have to capture the capture point, and then it continues with an escort objective. So once the attacking team captures the initial point, both teams' spawn locations are moved. The payload is then unlocked, and the players must escort the payload through 2 checkpoints to win. Overtime will be triggered if time runs out while the payload or capture point is being contested by the attacking team. So this is what I like. I mean, you get the benefit of having that that control gameplay where it's like, hey, you got one team, they got a formulated defense, and I can't stress this enough. Having a decent understanding of the game or of the map you're playing on will play a big role in this. So you got to lock down that control point, and then if that shatters and breaks, then you got to focus on escorting a payload. So either you're defending the payload or you're attacking the payload. But whichever it is, I mean, again, you have strategic points in the map. Some points with high ground, some points with choke points, and depending on who you are, if you're defending or you're attacking, you have to formulate a strategy to combat whatever the other team throws at you. So, I mean, this is going to be a great one. We're going to see here. I believe the Bisons. I don't know if they're attacking first but this game mode has 2 rounds, right? So each team has a chance to attack. Okay, we're defenses. Okay, so what we're going to see from the Bisons is the Bisons get free reign of the map for the next 38 seconds, where they get a chance to set up their defense. So they're going to be looking, saying, okay, if they're not familiar with the map, it's not great at this stage of the game, but they're going to be taking a look, saying, okay, where do we set up? Where do we set up? That little red line you saw down there on the map, this is the path in which they're going to take, right? So this is the path that the payload, the enemy, is going to have to take to get to the capture point. So giving you some indication of where they have to go. So there we go. Bisons are pinging, saying, okay, this is the choke point. So this is where they'll hold them, right? They got to try and stop them from getting into the assault point. So here we go. So Bisons are defending A, so they're ahead of this. We have Lafayette coming out of their spawn. Doesn't look like our tank Lana Knutson is getting... Oh, there we go! Okay, yeah, so just essentially holding them off, backing them off, creating a choke point, saying, yeah, not today, you're not coming in here. Another big thing here, and you're going to notice this, maybe we'll get this from first person, is angles. It's all about angles, right? So we see here that when you're dealing with an angle like that, Lana just did a good job of kind of shifting in and out, right? Making sure when she needs the defense, she can have the defense. But we see, so you're just playing about angles. So this is also kind of tricky because whereas you can't target as easy as you could with an open terrain, open map. Oh, here we go. Enemy tank is doing a strategic fallback. Okay, this is really tricky. The Bisons don't want to overextend themselves because if they go too far, then they're going to be like essentially just surrounded by wolves. Okay. So here we have. Okay, so they change up to the lineup. So we have Star Trek fan. Now Star Trek fan is Caleb Turden, a grade 11 student, and looks like he might be damage or he might be support. I'm not too sure. He's playing support. Okay, so he is playing support, which is odd because he sometimes does alt damage. And we saw. Okay, so we subbed out Banana Josh. Okay, so we see here. If you look in the center of the map, the center of the screen, you'll see that Q. That's what's called a super. So every character has a very unique. Think of it kind of like a super power or some kind of a super ability to use. So looks like Caleb has actually unlocked his. We have Christopher's unlocked his. Okay, so one thing you might see, we won't stay in first person too long, but you'll see, like, again, just constant movement. Constant movement from these players, because you don't want to be staying still. You don't want to be staying still. Oof! Very impressive. Very impressive on that. So we saw kind of the Lafayette team just essentially jump over the front line to target Caleb. Okay, so we got to be careful here because it said we don't want to give up this choke point. Very quickly, just so you know, also on the top of your screen, you'll see that timer on the red bar. That's Lafayette's progress timer. They essentially have 1 minute and 6 seconds to capture the objective. If they don't capture it, the round's over, and the Bisons essentially have the benefit of saying, "Okay, all the Bisons have to do is capture 1 percentage point of the control zone." Oh, we have frozen. There we go. And then Lafayette lose the round. So we got, again, 43 seconds. Bisons are trying to do their best to make sure they don't even get to the assault point, so they don't even have to worry about escort. Okay, so we have Star Trek fan has been respawned. Very good. We have Dreamin' Bacon again, just like we said. Played by Kobe Spear. Likes to get up high. Likes to get good vantage points. All right, let's go into first-person mode here. So this is from the perspective of Kobe Spear. So you see how quickly, this is calibrated to, and that's round one complete. Okay, so the Bison stopped them from even capturing the control point. So it's 0-0. They got nothing. They got no capture progress, and they ran out of time. So now, oh.
33% of the point we win.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, so I just was informed. So it's 33% of the point, and the Bisons win. Okay, so they have to get the 33%, and then they win the round. So as long as they can get up to that 33%, then the Bisons are laughing. So yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Looks like we're subbing in one of our second. Yeah, Turden's still in. Yeah. Okay. So we only can sub between. Okay. So I'm just getting this. So we only can sub between matches. So looks like Turden's going to be playing support for this next round. Okay. So here we go. So right now we have Lafayette, who has access to the map. They're setting up the defense. I imagine they're doing the same thing. I mean, that was a pretty good strategy from the Bisons. There's that initial choke point. You see that in a lot of these hybrid game map modes. So I imagine they're doing the same thing. They're going to try and duplicate it. It's a great strategy to have. And looks like Christopher is wrecking the table. All right. Okay, so Dreamin' Bacon looks like Kobe has mixed up his character. Boom! And Kobe got one shot. Good elimination on Kobe Spears' part. Okay, so yeah, we have the Bisons breaking through. Kobe acting kind of like a Spider-Man. Okay, so there we go. So the Bisons already have the capture point. There you go, victory. Didn't need that 33%, or if it was, that was very quick. Bisons win. Okay, game 2, Bisons win. So this is absolutely a great round. Oh, here we go, Dreamin' Bacon. This is played by Kobe Spear. Boom, elimination. Elimination. All right, so we see a lot of damage done by Dreamin' Bacon in that game. So yeah, very good. I mean, again, I think it did. Is it awesome game mode? Obviously, we can see kind of the difference between skill levels with Lafayette and the Bisons. I mean, honestly, I'd say this is where the Bisons would have been comparable to Lafayette at the start of the season. I really do think. I mean, again, but you could just see the change that the Bisons have made. It would have been really great to play to have a rematch against Cherry Creek Bruins from Greenwood Village, Colorado. That's who they got last time. That really smoked them. But I think we're up to that level now of skill. Okay, so looks like we got Banana Josh now in. So we have Golden Shadow, Lana Knutson playing as, I assume, tank. We got Banana Josh back in the fold. We have Star Trek fan. That's Caleb Turden. And then we got Christopher Somick playing, and Dreamin' Bacon, Kobe Spear. All right, so just so you know, the third game mode we're getting into is Flashpoint. So Flashpoint is very similar to Control. So Flashpoint is a game mode released in Season 6, and it bears some similarities to Control. Each Flashpoint map has 5 capture points called Flashpoints, and a team must capture 3 to win the game. Flashpoint's capture speed is much faster than Control capture point. Once a team captures a point, the next point will unlock after 40 seconds. So the first point to unlock is always in the center of the map, but subsequent points may be any of the other 4, as long as it has not already been used during that match. Team spawns will change locations as flashpoints are captured, and the objectives moves around the map. So this is much faster than Capture Point. Capture Point was very much like 3 rounds, and that was it. And there was breaks in between, right? So you could, regroup. Even that quick 30 seconds of communication played a vital role, or could make a vital difference in your team's strategy. With Flashpoint, it is consistent. After you capture that first center Flashpoint, the subsequent ones will open up, and it's the same game. There are no rounds. It's just, here's a new Flashpoint, capture it, and it goes much faster than the control. So this is going to be a awesome game mode. Okay, so stay tuned. Stay tuned for the start of the match. And we're back. Okay, so what this game mode? I mean, this is as compared to the last game mode. What we have is, it's everybody's on equal footing with this one. Before we had the defending team and the attacking team. With this game mode, it's just both teams are behind the gate. So that gate's going to drop, and there are no defensive advantages or offensive advantages. It's whichever team can get to the flashpoint first, right? And we're off. Okay. So we're spectating Star Trek fan. That is Caleb Turden. Kind of get trailing from behind, which is good because, again, as a support player, you definitely do not want to be at the front line. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so again, very interesting. You see this with a lot of like capture point maps or flashpoint maps. The objective will be down below in essentially a kill zone, and a lot of the fighting takes place above. At least get the teams on, or the opposition on level playing field. You definitely don't want to. Ooh, and Star Trek fan did not retreat back when they were supposed to, and that resulted in them getting KO'd. So let's take a look at here. Okay, so we got Dreamin' Bacon. Okay, Kobe Spear playing as Tracer. Now this character, fast, quick, gives me a headache. So this one has like a rewind button where you can, has an ability where they can rewind and, okay, well, hey, there's that glass cannon I was talking about. There for a good time, not a long time. You need to have your tank ahead. So the Bisons right now need to regroup. Lafayette actually has control of the first flashpoint. So Bisons are waiting for everybody to spawn so they can get in there. But you can see how quickly that timer's moving. This is a fast-paced play style. So we have Christopher Summick going back. Boom! Baited the Lafayette player into this corridor. Luckily, that player had the support protection. But, okay, we're at 60%. Bisons know if they want to capture this first central flashpoint, they got to get in there quick. Boom, knocked out. Okay, so Bisons are doing pretty good. They have one Lafayette player down, and looks like Bisons lost one of their players. Okay, strategic retreat. Oh, but we have Dreamin' Bacon. Sneaky. With only 7% left to loss, Dreamin' Bacon has clutched this first flashpoint and is holding on for it for what I can only presume dear life while the Bisons respawn. Okay, gives up the okay, yeah. There we go. Golden Shadow now down there. Oh, Diva gets her robot back, her mech suit back. Oh, that was a nice jump shot from Kobe Spear. Okay, so is at this stage of the game, we saw this with Kobe. You get desperate. You get desperate when you got this percentage left, and you're going to see them either one, just giving up on this flashpoint altogether and saying, hey, we'll get the next one, or they're going to go flying in there like a... Oh, not sure if that strategy worked out for them. I mean, it was clear they were going to lose that flashpoint. Okay, it looks like they traded some KOs there. Really what you want to do, I know that only gets unlocked after 40 seconds, but you're going to want to get to that next flashpoint. Although I get the idea of attacking and maybe you knock out some players, by the time those players respawn, the flashpoint will be unlocked. I mean, remember, the respawns have moved. So we see here the Bisons waiting for reinforcements, waiting for the rest of the team to show up before Christopher Summit just jumps in there. Oh, yeah, here's an interesting one. So Bison's looking like they're capturing it as fast as possible. I imagine Lafayette is trying to regroup. Okay, good phasing from Christopher. Looks like the tank, that's bad, and that tank got knocked down there. That gave the Bisons an opportunity for open game on the rest of the Lafayette team. Ooh, Bison's getting knocked out. Okay, so Christopher needs to vamoose. And he got knocked out as well. Okay, so good play. That was a good play by the Lafayette. Now we can see their percentages moving up. It'll be tricky because it said you could just see Kobe trying to think like, hey, I need to get. He knows he needs to get in there. Oof. Okay, Lafayette has surpassed, and Lafayette at 58%, 62. Okay, looks like Lana's doing her job being up at the front. Boom, and they took out Lafayette's tank. So now it's just Lafayette, but Bisons need to capture that point. Very close. Lafayette's at 92% for that second flashpoint. So Bison's now on the defensive. Lafayette knowing that all they got to do is cap it, and that's pretty much it for the Bisons. Bison's not really wanting to sit on the defense point. They're trying to drag the game out. Remember, the more people you have on the flashpoint, the faster that percentage goes. And Bison's looks like they say, we don't want to have anybody on it. Focusing on keeping Lafayette at bay. I guess it's kind of a trade, right? Would you rather have a more defendable position, or would you want to get this round over and done with? All right, Bisons capture the second flashpoint. Okay, so third flashpoint. If the Bisons capture this flashpoint, that'll be the end of the game and victory for the Bisons in today's lineup. Okay, looks like we have Dreamin' Bacon up. Star Trek fan. Okay, so we can see here, I mean, again, not too bad of a plays from the players. Hopefully we can snag this, but okay, so there you go. So Lafayette saying, hey, we learned from that last round. We need to get to the objective first. Every percentage point counts, and especially with this one, where the other game modes, there was a platform above the flashpoints. This one, they had like the high ground is the flashpoint. So we got some Obi-Wan Kenobi action going on here with a fight for the high ground. So this flashpoint, we're gonna see this this game mode's been going very quick. Okay, and we have the contested. Keep on looking at that number. So look at that. Okay, so they got 4 players there. This flashpoint is hustling. Now down to 3. So the more players they have on the flashpoint, the faster that percentage goes. So again, it's just a matter of giving up a defensive position to increase that percentage timer. If Lafayette wants to squeeze out a win, Good call from Kobe Spear, Dreamin' Bacon. They're trying to flank the Bisons, but Kobe called it, predicted it. Oh, and got a shot. 5-player kill streak from Kobe Spear. There's 6. And there goes the last game of tonight. Bisons win, undefeated against Centaurus High School from Lafayette, Colorado. Bison victory. We have played the game. Dreamin' Bacon. I think it's actually that last few moments we were observing. Yeah, there's a takedown. There's a takedown. There's a takedown. There we go. Okay, so there we have it. Bisons now 2-1 is going to get a jump in the rankings for the Play VS League. So thanks for tuning in. That's all we have for tonight's entertainment. Remember, guys, don't forget to like and share the YouTube channel link. Remember, our Bisons play a heck of a lot better when there's a bunch of fans tuning in and cheering them on. So we do appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys tuning in for the games. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys next week. God bless. Go Bisons.